Well, Steve, I am super excited about this second part of our series on the teens, 20-something, 30-somethings. We got a great young man here.
Yep, it's a great perspective of how the different generations look at their goals and their future and what they've got going in their lives.
Yeah.
So I think you'll enjoy this show.
Yeah. Stick around for a great show. We got it in another 3-part series here. This is number 2.
Yep. Hey, Steve.
Well, hello, Steve. How are you doing this fine, crispy, brisk winter day?
It is crispy.
It's not winter, though, actually.
No, but
yet.
it is.
But it is.
It is 20. That's the date. It's 27 degrees.
27 degrees. Wow.
I thought it was the date. Actually, it's the temperature.
So, to continue on this series that we've got a really interesting show. This is the second of the 3-part series on generational goals and future. And we started with the teens, if you will. Then now we're at the 20s, and we'll go to the 30-something, right?
Right. So, that's the topic.
That is the topic.
Welcome to the Steve and Steve Show. I'm Steve Walsh.
And I'm Steve Wastenberg. Jumped ahead of it, so sorry on that. It is raw, remember.
And we do have a guest today.
We do.
Hello, I'm Keenan Wastenberg.
And what's your tagline in the music industry?
Sure, so I'm Wokeen.
Wokeen.
Yeah, so it's Wokeen.
I like to say Wokeen.
Yeah, a lot of people like Wokeen. Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah, there's a triple entendre there.
There? Nice. Triple entendre. And you're at 20-something.
Yes, I'm
right?
22 years old.
So what you and I are about to drink is okay because you're old enough. So we're drinking, Steve, it's a little chilly, so you got a nice...
I grew up in the desert.
So he's got a latte there. This is again, we're never pitching it. We don't get paid for any of these things. This is a nitro milk stout from actually a local brewery, Left Hand Brewery. I really like it. And we're gonna hard pour that baby just to get started for the morning here. And then we've got a 20-something beer,
Yes,
or not
sir.
beer.
With the Truly, a cold beverage for a cold day.
Nice, I like it. I like it.
And I'm drinking a hot coffee because it's 27 degrees out in Colorado, and it snowed a little bit last night.
It did snow, yeah.
All right. Well, to get started, I mean, obviously we're coming into kind of the end of the year and people are thinking about their goals. Well, maybe not everybody, but of course anybody watching our show, they're thinking about
That's
goals.
right.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So, Steve, why don't you, how are we going to talk about the 20-somethings? 20-somethings.
Well, that's why we have Keenan here.
That's exactly
right.
right.
So Keenan, and this is a kind of an interview series. So my question for you is why don't we give a quick background? Like, where did you recently? What did you recently finish?
Sure.
And what are you doing today? And what does your future look like?
That's great.
That's
Boy.
awesome, yeah. So recently, I've mostly been focusing on music a lot. I've been doing like a lot of producing and mixing and engineering and just learning that side of the industry so that I can work with artists that I want to work with. Specifically, there's this girl that I work with named Sophia.
Jump up this volume, man, because you're
okay.
going to reach your origin. Where, first of all, where did you go to school to do all this?
Sure, yeah. So I just So I just graduated John Paul the Great Catholic University in California.
California. Mm-hmm. Nice weather?
Yeah, a lot better than this.
Warm weather.
Warm weather, very warm. And so yeah, I was doing film there. I was doing communications, learning about just how to create film within the industry that we're in, working around certain political things, and along with that, working with my own morality in film, as that's something that's important. So yeah.
And you like film also?
Absolutely. I've loved film my whole life for sure.
Okay.
And it's something that I definitely love doing. I love writing, and I like being on film sets, and it's a skill that a lot of people don't think that you can like get jobs while you're doing film stuff, but you can get so much freelance You can just be a PA. You could do PA work. You could
What's
do
a
sound
PA?
stuff.
Because our
Yeah,
audience
sure.
may not know what that is.
Production assistant. So
Production
what you would
assistant.
do as a production assistant is you're just helping on whatever they need. Just like if you're just going.
You go and get coffee.
No, I don't ever do that. But you could as a production assistant. Mostly it's just like, helping out the gaffer or helping out whoever if they don't have any extra hands. It's a lot of extra hands and making sure nobody's stealing the equipment, all that kind of stuff.
So
And
you
then-
go get lunch.
Yes, I do get that actually. I do get that. And I get extra lunch.
But you do get exposure to
Absolutely.
to the different things. So that
And-
sounds like a really cool stuff. And they pay you.
Yeah, it pays really well. Pretty much, you're always making way above minimum wage.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
And along with that, you also do a lot of like, as you're doing that, you get the connections to do, audio stuff, to camera work, to all that stuff. And then that's when you're making like a lot more money and you're doing a lot of stuff that's more creative. And that's what you want.
So let me ask you a question, Keenan. Wokeen.
Sure.
You moved. I mean, you went in. You studied the film because it's been a real dream of yours. You're a writer anyway. And as you got into it, you landed after you graduated outside of that a little bit into more of the music scene, right?
Yeah.
And is that something that was that also something that you really loved, or how did you get into that? How did you get into the music scene?
Yeah, so when I was younger, we bought a drum set one time for Christmas.
We did.
Yeah, well, you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You bought me a drum set for
I
Christmas.
think you know that drum set, actually.
Yes.
Oh, you guys have it now?
Yeah,
No, we don't have it now.
Oh,
Well, we sold it to them.
Oh, that makes
After-
sense.
yeah,
Well,
anyway.
it was this drum set, and I was like, I didn't really like drums that much, honestly. I thought it was really cool, but I was so bad that I was like, oh, I hate this, and I didn't really play. I didn't practice much, and it was just very frustrating. And I was really into computer programming at the time. I was doing some like, programming where I could, and it was just something that I was kind of good at, but I found it kind of boring. And so both of those, it was like one was too hard, and one I was good at, but it was kind of boring.
Okay.
And so I found later in college the combination of the two, which is using like Ableton, which is a software that you create music on, but it's much like programming. You can program in the drums, you can program in the music, and it's like very, you can do anything you want with it. You could play it live as well, which is something I'm learning too. But it was just like this perfect bridge between both. And I was like, well, I was really good at programming and learning that quick, but I sucked at music. How can I just
Merge the two.
merge
Yeah,
the two? And so I
that's good.
did, and it made me realize that I could be a producer, which is something that I had always been so interested in because my favorite artists are all producers and rappers or singers. Or
Who's your favorite artist?
So Kanye West is my absolute favorite artist.
Kanye.
And I think it's just like he had this very inspiring way of creating music, which was, he didn't have classical training. He didn't have any of that. Nobody was helping him to create music. It was him learning how to use an MPC, which is a little box, kind of thing where you can play your instruments, and it's like a little bit like
Almost like a little keyboard of
yeah,
sort?
but it's not always a keyboard. It's more like a drum pad.
Oh,
but
okay.
you just use your fingers and you're just typing it in and then looping that, and then it's there.
Very cool.
And
So,
I was-
are you
yeah.
going to help us with a jingle?
I will try my. I think I could. Yeah.
Hey, we might have a new jingle. It's Wokeen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
my son does 3D animation. He's helped us with the,
Right.
The actual drop-down logo that we use. But we're borrowing a jingle now from YouTube, and we want to get our own. So
Yeah, we
we'll-
got to toss that one.
So Keenan, we do have a limited amount of
Yeah.
space on our drive here to record. So what I would like for you to do is, what's your goals? What's some dreams that you have for the near future or far future?
Sure.
Either one.
And I'd like to add to that from the standpoint of a 20-something right now, as you look forward into, the rest of your life, if you'd kind of flavor those goals so that the other 20-somethings that are out there might also hear some of your, dreams and
Yeah.
aspirations around it.
So, a
And
big
keep that
goal.
volume pumped.
Yeah. So a big goal that I've had, and I think everybody has, is just like I want to be able to get a house. I want to be able to, own my own house and have my own property. I just want, I don't want to live in an apartment for my whole life or anything
Okay.
like that. So that's a big goal. Other than that, it's like, pushing myself into the industry that I really do want to be in, which is like entertainment as a whole. I think is such an awesome industry, and I want to be able to put my flavor into that. And so that's my biggest goal, is being able to work specifically lately in music with artists too. yeah, really push myself.
And let me ask you, do you see that as I'm going to go work for somebody, or do you see this as an entrepreneurial kind of?
So yeah, I think that's like a huge thing, especially at my age group. Nobody wants to work for somebody else.
Ooh, wow.
Nobody
Wow.
does.
Could you say that again really loud?
Yeah, nobody
Your
wants.
age group.
Yeah, I think my age group really agrees with this. Nobody wants to work for anybody else because you
That's
just have
cool.
no freedom. It's really everybody. I feel like wants to be that inventor, that entrepreneur, that person who creates their
That's
Yeah,
refreshing.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
So there's an entrepreneurial spirit in your age group, you would say.
absolutely.
Wow,
I think
that's
more than people realize. I think a lot more than people realize.
Make it known.
That's very cool. So there's a saying that a dream not written down is purely a dream. Once it gets written, it becomes a goal.
True.
I don't know what the right phrase that we have it on our workbook actually.
Which you can, by the way, download.
That's
here.
right. So that's what the question is: Have you gone through some formal steps of writing down your goals or looking, doing visualization? Have you done anything around that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, end of last year, I wrote down a whole 50 lists of goals like you guys had, and it helped me a lot. Like, it just made me really focus in and be like, I need to get this done because I don't want to look at the end of the year and see my goals and be like, I didn't even try. But it's good to be able to look at my goals every time and instead not just have it sitting in my brain where I'm just forgetting it all.
Right.
And I can just see my actual goals, and then I know what I have to do that day, what I have to do this year.
So it's helped you organize that kind of entrepreneurial dream you have. And would you say that you're actually getting down that road with it then?
Sure, yeah, I think so. I think, I'm working with artists that I really like. I'm working, on music that I've definitely improved on. And I've been, getting connections that I think could really help me out for my future. And it's really just about just doing what you said you were going to do. And those goals really do help.
Doing what
Yeah.
you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a quick thing to allow you to give a shout out to somebody that you're working with, a young lady I think is also a 20-something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really moving down the road in her music, and you two have been collaborating in a lot of great ways.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that moment to shout.
Yeah, so shout out Sofila, Sofila. She's an incredible R&B musician. She's done EDM, she does rap, she does everything, and she's really just breaking out right now. And she's been doing such an incredible music, really unique styles, and I think you guys are going to like what you see in the future with her.
Cool.
Well-
So if you can't do a jingle, we'll have to look her up.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're watching, Sophia, we're going to have a little competition here
All
going
right.
down.
So Keenan, where if someone's watching us and they want to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
Sure, so my Instagram #1 is at Wostenberg.
Wostenberg.
Yes, sir. And then along with that, my email, if you have any inquiries, anything like that, is KWOSTENBERG@gmail.com. KWostenberg@gmail.com.
Wow.
So he has at Wostenberg on Instagram.
Yeah, I was the one that got it.
Wow.
He stole it. Obviously, I'm not a 20-something because my Instagram is something like Losty.
Hey, nobody else had it. I had it.
All right,
great.
Steve. So we need to wrap
this is
up.
terrific.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out and getting this far in the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button
Subscribe.
and that bell so you get notified on our next video, because we do have an awesome one coming up with part 3,
Absolutely.
which will be
30-something.
30-something.
And by the way, if you hadn't listened to our last one, which was the teen something, how do you say that? Is it a teen something?
Teens, probably.
Teen something? Anyway, then go ahead and go back and listen to that one as well. This is a series. And thank you. Thank you for coming
Absolutely.
on.
Thank
here.
you guys
You
for
guys are the
inviting me.
future.
Hey, thank you.
Cheers.